there's been many months when I've asked Pep Guardiola at various times about whether there's been any update on Kevin De Bruyne's future, whether he was going to be signing a contract. Well, he has confirmed this lunchtime he's wanted to put the news out first to tell the Manchester City fans that he will be leaving the club at the end of the season. That social media statement that you just referenced, Hayley, I can read a bit of it to you now. He pens it, "Dear Manchester, seeing this, you probably realise where this is heading," he writes. And this is very Kevin De Bruyne. I'll get straight to it to let you all know that these will be my final months as a Manchester City player. Nothing about this is easy to write, he says, but as football players, we all know this day eventually comes. That day is here, and you deserve to hear it from me first. Football led me to all of you and to the city, chasing my dream, not knowing this period would change my life. This city, this club, these people gave me everything, he writes. I have no choice but to give everything back. And guess what? We won everything. I mean, they certainly did, and not least that treble in 2023, obviously part of an incredible, glittering era of success. The final part from De Bruyne here is, whether we like it or not, it's time to say goodbye. Surrey, Rome, Mason, Michelle and I are beyond grateful for what this place has meant to our family. Manchester will forever be on our kids' passports, that's a nice little touch, and more importantly, in each of our hearts, this will always be our home. We cannot thank the city, club, staff, teammates, friends and family enough for this 10-year ride. Every story comes to an end, but this has definitely been the best chapter. Let's enjoy these last moments together. Much love, KDB. So that's written in his own words. I love the fact that it's straight to the point. Anyone who has heard a Kevin De Bruyne interview, been lucky enough as I have to speak to him on a few occasions, will know that he pulls no punches. He can be very blunt. He's to the point. He's a fantastic person to have, a fantastic leader in the dressing room. But Kevin De Bruyne confirming that he's going to be leaving. What he doesn't quite confirm is when that's going to be. Will it be the end of this Premier League season, or will it indeed be post the Club World Cup, which obviously starts a couple of weeks after that? So I guess that might be something that Pep Guardiola might be able to shed some light on when he does speak to us at around less than half an hour now. So I was going to say 12:30. It's not that long at all till we hear from the Manchester City manager about this breaking news. But look, there's no doubt De Bruyne will be remembered as one of the true Manchester City greats. That decade has been glittering, as I say. 6 Premier League titles. He's won Player of the Season in the Premier League twice. Golden Month a couple of times. He's just been absolutely fantastic in this part of the world. Obviously, winning the Champions League as part of that treble team will forever have his name in the history books. He is a legend of Manchester City. There are a few legends that are a little short way away from where I'm stood now, have statues around the Etihad, and you can imagine that Kevin De Bruyne may well get a statue at some point in the future. Yeah, there's been a lot of speculation on that front, and I think the two most likely destinations would be either Saudi Arabia or the MLS. They're both areas, both leagues where clubs have expressed interest in Kevin De Bruyne and his people. But I suppose that is the big question, is whether he is leaving at the end of this Premier League season or whether it will be after the FIFA Club World Cup. And as I say, hopefully Pep Guardiola will be able to shed some light. But you're right, he doesn't say he's retiring. He talks about this being a chapter, an incredible chapter of success here in England. But you do feel he's probably got one last throw of the dice. He'll probably want to go and have that final contract. You'd imagine it would still be relatively lucrative in either of those particular parts of the world, Saudi Arabia or the MLS, owing because of the name, because of what he's achieved here on a global scale, but in particular here in England. And I think from Kevin's point of view, I think you can sense the frustration in him. I mean, I think back to that Champions League final when he got injured and had to go off. I think back to the struggles he's had with injury just to get fit for that, the struggles he's had since. He's missed large parts of the season. When he has played, it has felt a bit stop-start, and you've seen him on the pitch even this season getting frustrated at himself almost, just knowing that perhaps he doesn't quite have that half a yard of pace that he did a few years back. He doesn't quite necessarily have that sharpness, and he has, I guess, the fact he's he's kept breaking down, not been able to have those consistent level of matches, minutes, performances. Perhaps that's behind this decision. He's very honest, Kevin De Bruyne. I think that's the upshot. As a human, he's a very honest person. He would have been very honest with himself. If he felt he can no longer help Manchester City be the champions, be right at the very top level, which is where they expect to be, then he probably would have had those conversations with his family, his family, his friends, the people around him, and perhaps that's been part of this. So it's really interesting, as I say, to hear from Pep Guardiola, to get obviously his instant reaction. Like the rest of us, he'll be digesting this news relatively recently, you would have thought, to find out, first of all, what that means to De Bruyne. Will he stay till the end of the FIFA Club World Cup? Will he be part of that Manchester City team looking to try and add another historical trophy to their cabinet, to this era? Will he depart before that? What conversations they've had, and what's behind this decision? Because, as I say, Pep has always said it's been down to the club and to Kevin to come to an agreement if they want to. He did say only a week ago that he would like him to be here as a Manchester City player as part of that FIFA Club World Cup. I asked him that directly. Would you like him to be part of that team? He said, yeah, absolutely, he's a Man City player. He knows what Kevin can bring. Unfortunately, we haven't seen necessarily the very best Kevin De Bruyne for a little bit of time. It feels like that probably is behind this decision this afternoon.
No, they should run up to do it.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve. Although it was a bit of a nightmare at the boxing yesterday because we were so close.
Yeah.
I was trying to get back, but it doesn't go wide, and it's I'll switch to lens and tomorrow.
Yeah. I find with that camera, no matter what lens you've got on, you always feel like you've got the wrong one on.
Yeah, I mean the kit lens on is awful to follow.
Yeah.
Testing 1 2 3 4. Test 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Test 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. All good? You good, Jeff?
Yeah, sounds great.
Got a mic one quick while we're there. Testing.
Yeah.
Testing 1 2 3 4. Testing 1 2 3 4.
So it's Liam that holds it back.
Isn't it?
It is, obviously. You done after this?
Hey?
You done after this?
No, can't. We're only meeting. Can't.
He's done what's your next? What's calling? Exactly. So that's what I was thinking. Is there anything going on over there?
No. I'm just here. I've done it all. I'm still standing on. I'm just here against it all.
Exactly. This is our. Just remember, this is our summer. Nothing's happening July or August. It's now.
afternoon, guys. Hope you're well. Same process as ever. Please be mindful that it's a busy open section with it being a Sunday's embargo. We will set that. I'm just trying to see something. Set that for 10:30 on Saturday evening. We'll start with Mike, please.
Good afternoon, Pep. I think you know where we're going to start. Kevin De Bruyne has announced that he's leaving the club in the summer. First of all, your reaction?
Sad day. A happy day for the fact that the pleasure personally that we live, or I live this time with him. What he give us, all of us, his humanity, and of course, don't necessarily tell his influence in our success in the last decade. That will be impossible. Imagine, without him. And a sad day because, of course, it's part of us. He's leaving. So when Vincent left, or Sergio left, or David Silva left, and these players have been contribution, and I will say more names. So these example 3. Of course, the time that it's a sad day. So, but still we have 10 games and hopefully 11 and 6 games at home that we can enjoy with our fans, and he will get, I'm pretty sure, the love and the recognition that all of us, the fans, of course, that he deserves.
Where does he rank in terms of players you've managed, but also within Premier League history?
I think I've been involved in, I read today or yesterday, 280 goals in terms of goals and assists in the Premier League. So the Premier League is one of the greatest midfielders I ever played in this country, and I think that this club is no doubt about that. Always when you say is the greatest, not the greatest, so it's like always have to be careful for respect for the, players who play main roles and incredible players that play for the last, 20, 30 years in this club, but come on. There's no doubt he's one of the greatest, for sure, because of his consistency, except the last year and a half, that I had injury problems, and the consistency, and in important games and not important games, and every 3 days being there all the time. So that is no doubt.
Finally, for me, does it feel like the right time? He's out of contract in the summer. It feels like the squad is getting a refresh. He's obviously had a few injuries to deal with as well. Does now feel like the right time?
The most important that he feels good right now. I think we spoke recently, lately, that he had problems, and now he feels finally, because after the surgery he had in the hamstring, had the problems here in other part of the body, but now he feels, step by step, he feels ready. His decision is made, and of course, for all of us, we wish him, to Michelle, the kids, mom and dad, so absolutely the best.
Hi, Pep. 10 years you spent here at the club. You've spoken a little bit about the impact that he's had on the club, those who have played with him, the fans. What have you learnt from him as a human being?
His assists, his goals, his vision in the final third that is so difficult to replace. Because he's not, everyone can make two actions of assists, but during how many years and how many games, that makes him unique. At the end, this is a business. The players have to perform well, the manager have to perform well, and we know that any person, can discuss that his performance during this decade have been outstanding. So we won a lot of trophies, and he have been involved in every single one. So that's why always, I think we remember him like, he's part of this club. I think in his statement he has done in the club, he said to him, the doors are open for the rest of his life. So whatever we want to do here in our part, so it's part of the family of this club. So the impact of some players transcend just even what you have done on the pitch. So, and Kevin is one of them.
In terms of that, and particularly the leadership role that he's had, the impact he's had on the players coming through the academy, how hard will it be to replace that?
Listen, he was a leader in terms of not in the vocal, I would say in the locker room or something in Impact. His leadership was proving, during on the pitch, doing that. And of course the impact for the new players and when came up in the last years from the academy or the new players from another clubs. He has shown in the training sessions and in the games, and he's a guy who enjoys playing football. So he likes, you see it, when they play and when can make and his generosity has never played there and, think it was better than the other ones. It always was humble in that terms. And yeah, it's what it is.
Pep, do you know yet when he will leave? Will he be part of the squad for the Club World Cup, or will he leave at the end of the Premier League season?
It's a good question. I don't know. I think he has to decide. You have to talk, because now with the World Cup is the expired contract legally. If he, hopefully can continue playing football in other places, and it depends on the risk, playing there for the contracts or injuries or the future. So honestly, I don't know. I think the club has to talk to him, or he has to say what he want to do.
Would it be a fitting end to his City career, though, to go to the United States with you, to be part of that City team playing in what is a hugely historic tournament?
Of course. Of course, it's the first time you play this competition, and at the end of the first 3 games, he's still under contract, I would say. We finished 30 June, but after that, if we go through, I don't know. So I cannot answer, because his answer for, I think Kevin has to to tell, and after that as well, for the fact that the future, is legally can be possible or not.
Just finally then, obviously there is a game this weekend, it's a big game, the Manchester Derby as well. How are you preparing for the game? I mean, how is the squad in terms of shape? How have everyone come through Wednesday? How are you feeling ahead of that match?
No, good. So last 2 games we were good, and hopefully we continue in the last 8 games in the Premier League, and yeah, prepare today. The people rest, and tomorrow we're going to prepare the game.
Pep, on Kevin again. Time is obviously a sensitive matter to all of us, but especially for sportsmen, the careers are so short. I imagine that for him, it must be hard to say goodbye, to make this decision. Have you had conversations with him about it? And if you could share a bit of...
No. It was nice. So I think always we had a special relation. Kevin's a special person, a special player. So in a special person, special player, I be treated in the special way. And of course we had a conversations with that, of course. So it's 1 decade. So do you know how many games together, how many meetings, how many training sessions, how many good moments, bad moments, how many hugs, how many shouts, how many, it was involved in 1 decade. Except the day off, except international breaks, except holidays, every single day we were together. So, and thinking now will be over, so come on. So we will not be... What should happen if you are not a fact? So it's an emotional moment always with Sergio, for example, and it was not easy for me to tell him that no continue, because there are players that have done that club like we is right now, and these situations is always so difficult because the emotions are there, they are involved, because they give us too much. So everybody knows that. Can you imagine the way we played, some moments and some seasons incredible, nice and attractive without Kevin? When Leroy or Raheem running behind, or the moments for Sergio in the pockets, and when we drop in, or Gabriel, or all the strikers there, they were benefit for the talent, the skills from Kevin. So in the amount, so 280 involved, goals and assists, it's huge. And seeing that, of course, we are going to enjoy the last 2 months here together. So, but of course, it's emotionally tough. It's difficult.
Pep, just thinking of some of Kevin's best parts of his Man City career, I always think the end of the treble season when he was playing with that hamstring injury for so long. Do you think that's one of his kind of best areas, and what your kind of fondest memories of his time here?
Well, I should remember, but listen, when all of us we arrived, he was here. So he's the oldest one. It was before when I arrived, and John arrived by the first Gundo or all the players. So it's all that to take now and refresh in one decade what is the best moments. I would not say which one. So have been many. So, and that is nice. So now is the impact, to make a publicly decision. But we remember with a big smile and the pleasure that we could share all together with especially our fans. How much last game, when we scored against Plymouth here, the goal, how the people sing is still there. People here in England especially, not that in this club, in England recognize incredible well. Like I think any other country recognize really, really well the players that have given something unique. I think that have been on the pitch and off the pitch incredible, respectful, polite with the referees, polite with the opponents, with everything. So it is immaculate what he has done in many sense on and off the pitch. So, and this you will remember forever. So, and I'm pretty sure there are parties I like, to announce, in these days because he can, say bye in the way that he deserves.
And the club have commemorated players like Vincent and David with statues in the past. Do you think that's something that the club will look to do with Kevin?
Listen, I don't know, but I will bet a lot of money that is going to happen. That's for sure. But I don't know. But of course, come on, he deserves to be in this level.
Hi, Pep. Were you surprised by the news? Were you expecting it?
I knew it.
But when did you know that he was...
Yeah, days ago.
Sorry?
Days ago.
Days ago. But was there a point this season when you thought he
No.
might be closer?
It's not for one day for the other one. It's not wake up in the morning and said Kevin's going to extend the contract or Kevin extend the contract. It's not about that.
And do you still think he has the ability and the fitness to keep playing at the highest level beyond this season?
I wish. For the tip of my heart, I wish. I want to be happy. I want to make him happy. And if he played the last years, he's going to make 34 years old soon. So he can still want to play. Always I said to the players and Kevin as well. So if you still had the desire and hungry to play. Because when it's over, it's over. But I still enjoy every morning, wake up in the morning, go to training and go to play and be happy for the, the nervous and the tension of that. You have to.
The embargo for 10:30 on Saturday evening. Someone to start, please. Jack.
Hi, Pat. Do you think